university to work, and from work to the external environment. Adrian will speak for 5 to 7 minutes. His speech is entitled Gourmet Cooking. Gourmet Cooking, Adrian Lynd.
Put it to the side there. I've got a few props. Mr. Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen, I know we've got people who are members here, we've got visitors, and we've got potential members. Now, my topic, I mentioned that I'm going through a transition in life at the moment from being a working man. I do the occasional bit of consulting, but now I'm in retirement. And I thought I'd talk about gourmet cooking. Now, I've always been able to cook, and I've been a bachelor. I know how to fry an egg, I know how to boil potatoes, I know how to use sauces. I always use HP sauce, which is by appointment of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth. So that's kind of talking gourmet there. The one thing that I've learnt only a week ago is that I can boil an egg perfectly. Absolutely. If you want it hard, if you want it medium, or in between. Have you ever seen one of these? No. You put it in the water. You put it in the water, and it changes colour. And as the colour spreads across the little gizmo there, you know whether it's medium, hard, or anywhere in between. Anyway, as I say, I know how to cook the basics there. But I think most families, it's the wife, it's the woman who does all the cooking. Would you agree?
Yep.
No. My wife is a very good cook indeed, but I do have a helping hand from time to time. I will serve the drinks. And what else do I do? I will wash the dishes. So that's where I am at the moment there. And then, how did I get this idea of trying to be a gourmet cook? There's no real motivation for me at the retirement village. We have fine dining once a week. We have a situation where our levy, 630 Rand, goes to prepared meals, and if you don't use it, you lose it. Anyway, I have decided that there have been times in my life when I've been inspired. Now, back in the 1980s, there was a gentleman, a TV personality, a chef of great note, and his name was Keith Floyd. Anyone heard of Keith Floyd?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now one of the things I loved about his program there is that every recipe that he had there, you had the opportunity to spice up a little bit with alcohol. And I think every time I watched it, there was always probably half a bottle of red wine that went into the dish that it was actually serving there. And that was great entertainment, great entertainment. But I had no inclination of trying to do the same stuff. It was just pure entertainment for me. And then there was, who else came on the scene in later years? You all know about Jamie Oliver, no doubt, and Gordon Ramsay. They were also very entertaining characters there. But still, I wasn't really inspired until a little while ago. My wife got a birthday present. This was a voucher for a romantic couples evening at Taste Buds. Anybody been there? Oh, I can advise you if you want a romantic evening, that's the place to go. It's a cooking, what would you call it? A place where you can learn to cook, and they have these special evenings where you all get together and you're greeted with complimentary glass of sherry, things like that. We even have that in our fine dining in the village there. We start off with a little bit of sherry there. And then we have the situation where we put on our aprons and then we look at all this tremendous amount of food and spices and things on the table there. And then people now tell us that we've got to make these dishes. And the business of fiddling around and cutting and chopping, not really knowing what we're doing, putting stuff in the oven there was really, really quite exciting. So this got me a little bit sort of motivated that maybe there is something to this gourmet cooking. And it so happened, not shortly afterwards, I found out in our village that people with every sort of background you can think of, and one of them, a Scotsman by the name of John Cullen, who became my mentor in gourmet cooking. So my first attempt was to make a crustless tuna tart. And I realized if you go to a cookery book, then yeah, basically they tell you what to do there. But sitting down there at the dining table, at the kitchen table there, and following his instructions, how you sort of toss things and cut things, there's a lot of sort of practical issues that you can do there. So that was very, very, very successful. And I made something else. I made I'll have to show you this one. This is, where is it? I lost it. I must have put it down somewhere. But don't worry, it's a beautiful, healthy banana cake there. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I decided, because of this meeting today, that I better do some research. So I did some research. One of the first things I had to do was buy myself a cookbook with 850 beautiful coloured illustrations there. And then the other thing I had to do was I know how to cook things in hot plates, but there's an inside to an oven, so I had to download the D5 oven, and on the left-hand knob there are these little bars and squiggly things, and things that look like fans there, so I had to learn all about that. And on my research, I realised that it's an art form. The plate is your palette, the plate is your canvas, and the foods are your colours. There's so many senses. It's not just a visual thing. There's this taste, there's texture, and there's a thing called thermoception. Do you know what thermoception is? It's the sense of temperature. You know, you have cold ice cream, you have hot things as well. So I am now really fired up to do some gourmet cooking. And I've decided I'm going to make a pledge to my wife. You have to sort of follow me on this one to make sure I honour my pledge. That I will make her a lovely gourmet meal once a month for the next month. Thank you, Mr. President.